What if the most productive thing you could do for your business this week was rest? I know it sounds crazy and it sounds backwards, but here's the thing. We were always taught that whoever worked the longest, slept the least, or answered everything immediately, those are the ones that were successful. But I'm here to challenge that for you because rest isn't laziness and nor is it a weakness. It's something that you do deserve, regardless if you checked anything off of your to-do list or not. Rest is a business strategy. And when you learn how to use it intentionally, it can protect your creativity, sharpen your business decision making skills, and help you build a business that actually supports your life instead of consuming it. Welcome back to the Jameela Adams Experience. And this month, we're doing the Intentional Rest and Reset series because we are intentional about building businesses that support our lives, our purpose, and our peace. Here's the thing. If you ever felt guilty for taking an afternoon off, or if you've opened your emails while on vacation, then this episode is for you. Because if you have that idea that your business needs you because you think everything is going to fall apart. So, somewhere along the way, entrepreneurship convinced us that being constantly available means being committed. Being busy is not the same as being effective. And remember, burnout is not a badge of honor. So today we're talking about three things that entrepreneurship has lied to us about. One, why hustle culture lies to entrepreneurs, how rest improves our leadership and creativity, and how to build rest into your business in a practical way. So let's get into it. Well, first and foremost, let's start with the lie that a lot of entrepreneurs are sold. If you are not tired, you're not trying hard enough. Let that sink in. We always see the posts that glorify the 5-hour sleep schedules. Now, trust me, being perimenopausal, I don't need to see that because I'm living it. Okay. And of course, we've heard about that phrase, I'll rest when I'm done or rest when I'm dead. Let's not go there. All right. We feel we need to compete or compare ourselves to people who seem to be launching, posting, selling, networking, and scaling every day. But here's the problem. Your business does not need your time. It needs your judgment. It needs your discernment. It needs your ideas. It needs your ability to notice what's working and what's not, and how to change things. So when you're running on fumes, trust me, it's not a good look. Things will suffer. You may be moving, but motion is not the same as momentum. And I know I've said that before. Here's the thing. When you are constantly available by answering emails, updating spreadsheets, posting content, and sitting in meetings all day and still avoid the deeper decisions your business needs, let's be real here. We've all done it. So, this is why rest has to be part of an operating system and not just a bonus feature. I'll repeat that. Rest has to be part of an operation system and not a bonus. Now, let me make an important distinction. Rest is not the same thing as procrastination. Hear me out. They're two different things. Procrastination usually comes from avoidance. Now, remember when we were in high school, we know we had a term paper that was due and we waited to the last minute because why? We were overwhelmed, we were scared, and we were unclear on what we needed to do or distracted. And that's unfortunately something we take into adulthood. So remember, rest is different. Rest is intentional recovery. Just think of it this way. When you're at the gym and you're on that free weight machine and you find yourself, your muscles are getting like really taut and tone and they're starting to get sore a little bit, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to step away for at least 1 or 2 minutes so that way your body can recover. And just think of it this way. Your body needs that. Your business needs that because you need to step away and recover. So that way, when your body is building up, you're strengthening your resolve and you can move forward successfully. So that is the big difference between rest and procrastination because you have intentionality behind it. So let's talk about decision fatigue. As a business owner, you're making decisions all day long. What should I price this at? Should I take on this client? Should I hire help? Should I say yes to this opportunity? Should I change the offer? Should I keep it pushing or pivot? See, these are the things that you have to think about with a clear head, because the more depleted you are, it's harder to stay grounded in your decision making. And you'll end up doing something that doesn't align with your purpose because you didn't have the energy to evaluate them. And here's the other thing, you may end up delaying important decisions because everything just seems so heavy. So rest gives you distance. Distance gives you perspective. And perspective helps you stop reacting like everything is urgent. So sometimes the smartest business move is not another strategy session. Sometimes it's sleep. Sometimes it's a quiet morning. Sometimes it's a day without meetings so you can think clearly enough to hear your own wisdom again. The reality of it is that sometimes we just need rest, and we can't focus on things if our head is in a fog. So let's keep moving. Here's something else that we don't talk about enough. Creativity does not thrive under constant pressure. I'll repeat that. Creativity does not thrive under constant pressure. What I'm trying to say is deadlines help us focus, but if every day feels like it's an emergency, your brain does not have room to connect ideas, imagine possibilities, or even notice a solution that has been sitting right in front of you all along. Think about it. Your best ideas usually show up when you're not doing something. You can be in the shower, you can be out on a walk, you can be taking a drive up the coast, anything. It's something random. But that space allows your mind to process things that is constantly going on. So that's why it's always good to step away, because your brain needs to focus. If your business depends on your ideas, your content, your problem solving, your strategy, your vision, then protecting your creative capacity is not optional. It's essential. So, how do we make this practical? Because it's easy to agree that rest matters, but it's harder to build a business that keeps asking for more. The first step is to stop treating rest like empty space, because it's not. Empty space gets filled. Protected space gets honored. Open your calendar and look for a place where your energy needs protection. Maybe it means no client calls before 10 a.m. Maybe it means one admin-free afternoon each week. Maybe it means a real lunch break away from your desk. Maybe it means closing your laptop at a set time and not negotiating with yourself every night. So here are some simple ways to start. Schedule one weekly recovery block with no meetings, calls, or client work. Schedule one weekly recovery block with no meetings, calls, or client work. Create a shutdown routine so your workday has a clear ending. Batch decisions when possible instead of making scattered decisions all day. Build a buffer time between meetings so you're not constantly rushing. And remember, I talked about buffer time last week. Choose one day or half a day each month for reflection, planning, and quiet thinking. That way, your mind gets a chance to slow down and process. So the goal is not to disappear from your business. The goal is to stop building a business that only functions when you're exhausted. A sustainable business is not just one that makes money. It's one you can keep showing up for without abandoning yourself in the process. Because if the business grows, but your health, your peace, relationships, and joy disappear, we have to ask, what are you really building? What are we really building? Rest reminds you that you're not just the engine behind your business. You are a whole person. Remember that. You are a whole person, and your business should be designed with that truth in mind. So today, remember this. Hustle culture may celebrate exhaustion, but wisdom builds sustainability. Rest is not a luxury. Rest is not a reward. Rest is a strategy. So this week, I want you to choose one intentional block of rest and put it on your calendar. That's your challenge. And not because you earned it, but because your business needs you operating at your best. So if this episode spoke to you, share it with another entrepreneur who needs permission to pause. And if you're here building a business with peace and purpose, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. I really want to hear from you. So until next time, I want you to be inspired, be inspiring, be encouraged, be encouraging. But most of all, I want you to be intentional about your rest and your reset and be successful with your business. Take care.